Today I'm going to share with you how I filmed 30 days of content in 30 minutes. The system I'm going to share with you is absolutely essential. By the way, my name is Rachel Pedersen. I'm a social media strategist and I have built an 8-figure company, mostly through organic social, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Today I'm going to share with you how to set everything up for filming, including the settings on your iPhone, the technique and specifics on what types of content to film. I'll give you the prompts and they're all so easy that anyone can use them, which is pretty awesome. The on-screen hook and why this is so important, as well as inspiration and support for captions and hashtags so that you can literally create 30 pieces of content filmed completely in 30 minutes any day of the week that you feel like it. First, we got to dive into why this system works. Now, if you haven't followed me for a while, you may not know, but I have bipolar type 1, which means that essentially I have some good days and some not so good days. Not everybody has the energy to be on, like fully talking to a camera like this all day, every day. This style of video is what I call high energy content. It takes a lot. It takes some research and prep and emotions and care and making sure that the things you're sharing are actually really good. This style of content can be really hard to do consistently, and this is why most people don't do more of it, to be honest. Now over here, we have the style of content that I'm going to be sharing with you today, which I rely on probably half of the time and get really viral results. And this is, high value content. Oh my goodness, I can't write when I'm recording. Okay, high value content. Now, most people are creating what I call low energy content consistently. It's creating kind of a little me too type of content to trending sounds, like things that are really easy to create and whip out, and they don't really move the needle very much. But this can be instantly amped up by switching to either high value content or high energy content. So we'll focus here. And one more thing, feel free to comment below high volume if this is interesting to you as well. Either of those types of content can be massively amplified, and I'm talking massively. Like you can grow by thousands of percents faster by focusing on high volume of either high energy content or high value content or a combination of both. And that's what I do across social. So comment high volume if you want to learn more about that. Okay, so we're going to focus on high value content. This is a content style that is easier to create and have as like a baseline for content, so that then when you do come in with the high energy content where you're pouring your heart, soul into showing up on screen and talking and giving just so much to the audience that's watching, there's already a baseline, a foundation of content going out. So let's start first and foremost with the setup and filming. Everything that you need to create this content you already have. And I know that just because you're watching right now here. So you can film absolutely 100% of these 30 days of video content on your phone. And you can use things around the house to prop your phone up instead of paying for somebody's time to film you or for a tripod. So I'll sometimes fill this up with water and then set up my phone and then just have it balanced with the front facing camera towards me so I can see what's actually happening. That's like the freebie version of how to do that. If you want, you can go on Amazon. I have these really long tripods. I love these because I can film at eye level for me. With these, they're like 30 or 40 bucks. You just look up literally iPhone tripod on Amazon and then make sure it's one of the ones that's at least 4 or 5 feet tall. What I did today to film these 30 pieces of content, by the way, here is more proof that we actually did that this morning. You can actually have somebody else just film you because it's a really fast process. So I enlist the support of my amazing husband. You can ask your teenager, pay them 20 bucks to film you. Or you can, of course, just set up something like a mug, a heavy mug, a Nalgene to set up your phone and record. Okay. When it comes to the settings and technique, I'm just going to show you exactly how this process looks. Now, one thing that some people recommend and do is they'll actually have multiple tops, or they'll change their hair or makeup or all of the above as they're filming different segments of these types of videos. I personally didn't even do that for today because my plan is to do these several times a week so that I have a massive bank in tons of different looks, and then we can just shuffle through those anytime we want and never run out of this baseline content. You can change shirts though every 5 to 10 videos throughout this process. When it comes to the actual settings on your iPhone, I'm going to actually screen record so you can see this because I think it's kind of an interesting process. So to get the best quality videos from your iPhone, you actually want to do something that is different than what people think you're supposed to do. Everyone thinks, oh, I want HD, I want the highest quality. You don't actually want that necessarily. You want to switch to 4K. So I'm going to go ahead and go to video, and I'm going to switch. You see the HD up in the right hand corner. I'm going to switch that to 4K. Your settings may look different on your particular phone, but 4K is what you want. Next to it says 30, that means 30 frames per second. That's perfect. And then in the upper left-hand corner, I want that ProRes HDR off because it is not the most compatible with most platforms. Then, at least on my iPhone, if I scroll up a little bit, your settings may be in a different place. There's this little plus or minus icon. So this shows me the exposure. So when I am changing up where I'm filming from, I may want to mess with that exposure by sliding. I'll show you this process. So this is gonna make me look a lot like more washed out or lighter. So that's perfect if you're in a darker room. If you're in a more bright room, you may wanna test out some of the moodier lightings with the exposure. So each time you go to film one of these, you can adjust the exposure. It's also fine if you don't. So keep that in mind. Back camera, so this camera right here is going to be what gives you the best results. However, if you're filming by yourself, it's often easier to be able to see yourself in the front-facing camera, and it's totally fine. That will also work. I've done a lot of content on front-facing camera. So now I'm going to share with you exactly what I do to set up either my tripod or whatever thing is propping up my phone. Basically, I'm going to look for what background is giving the most appealing look. Like here we've got flowers, we've got some books, we've got some interest going on here, versus if I were to film facing this corner, that's kind of boring. It's lacking interest. So find interesting angles throughout your house or in the different places where you're going to shoot the B-roll, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. So this right here is what I would like to see, okay? I'm nicely kind of off to the side so there's room for text in the video content, either a hook here above my head or some text on screen. A lot of times people will film their B-roll videos like this, and then your only choice is to put it across your forehead, and not everybody has as big of a forehead as I do, so that's it doesn't work. And then you can also put it here, but it's like awkward. So I always think, okay, where's the hook gonna go? Right here. And then I could add some more text here, beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit record and then get into place. Now, you only have to record for about 4 to 6, maybe 10, 15 seconds, and you will have plenty of B-roll. Okay, so starting now. And that's how simple it is. Now, in case you're sitting here watching this thinking, Rachel, I can't even think of 30 types of videos to create, that would take me the majority of the time, we put together an entire free resource for you. It's called the 30-minute content hack, how to batch 30 days of videos fast. And inside of here are several extra resources, but it includes 30 B-roll ideas, and they're simple, like turning on a lamp and sitting down, lighting a candle. You can find all of those in the link in the bio beneath this video. Since what we're creating is technically low energy content currently, we've got to ramp it up in the remaining 2 squares of this system, and those are the on-screen hook as well as the caption and hashtags. Now, when it comes to the on-screen hook, this has to be something that grabs people's attention. Maybe it has a mystery, maybe it's a question, maybe it hits on a pain point in a way that someone hasn't heard before. Inside of the 30-minute free content hack system, We put together a few of my favorite plug and play as well as copy and paste hooks, so you can just use those and literally whip out 30 days of content. Now, the caption is where you want the majority of the value to be for these style of videos. The reason for that is because if they're 4 seconds with a trending song behind them on Instagram, and the hook is pulling people in, you actually want people to watch the video and wait for the value, only it doesn't show up and they realize, oh, it's in the caption. So by the time they read through the caption, they've already looped the whole video 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 times. And this you do not want to disappoint with. This is where you want to share tons of value. I'm sharing a few different examples of high value. It can be bullet points. It can be do this, don't do this. It can be 10 things in a listicle. How you share the value is totally up to you, but this is where you do not want it to be fluff. You want there to be something tangible that people say like, oh, I could take action on this. This is actually helpful for my life. I'm glad I stopped on this person's content. And of course, you can always add a call to action that tells them, hey, comment below the word growth. And if you have ManyChat set up, you can automatically build leads, sales, and even profit from this style of content. Now, when it comes to hashtags, I have been studying what is working and what isn't for the last 11 years. And one of the biggest changes this year is that 30 hashtags doesn't seem to work the way it used to. So what we're seeing across the board is that 3 to 12 hashtags, maybe 15 max, is what's working best. And so what I like to do is kind of divide it up into thirds and do 1/3 of my hashtags about what the video is actually about, 1/3 of my hashtags about who it's for, and 1/3 of my hashtags for the pain point or problem that I'm solving or fixing with the value in that content. By the way, we're also gonna share some examples of I call this the 3x3 hashtag strategy. We'll share those inside of the free resource linked beneath this video. So now it's your turn to create 30 days of content. No excuses. You've got an awesome system ready for you, especially once you grab the freebie, which I know is gonna support you. And comment below and let me know, what other questions do you have about content? I love creating systems and tutorials that help